I'm Lance Phillips. The desk is not fixed. It's still too low.
I'm Chris King. I would argue the desk is still too high for me.
Holy
I
cow,
cannot get my head above the
You're
table.
not even that far away from me. How did that happen?
Work in progress still.
Work in progress. It's always something, isn't it, buddy? Well, listen, let's move this side up. See if you can move that side up a little bit.
Little adjusting
Push
here.
this. Push this side down. I think we're good. Oh, that looks better, Kinger.
Yeah, amazing.
Hey,
amazing.
the gloves are off. Lance Phillips, Chris King, Level Desk. Catch us on Twitter at Gloves TV and Facebook at the Gloves New Cap. Now listen, sports movie madness is in full roar right now. We're through the first round. Some upsets.
A lot of upsets.
Some not so upsets, as we'll find out this week. This week we had a couple that were, like you said earlier, predictable
upsets, which you don't like to see.
No, definitely. But listen, there's a lot to talk about today. Let's start off with Jose Bautista, who has made his way into the minor leagues, signing a $1 million one-year contract with the minor league affiliate for the Atlanta Braves. That is Kinger's favorite team. However, he's going to play third base, and I'm not sure that that's the right spot for him to be, Kinger. Do you think that he should be playing some other position or playing somewhere else?
Yeah, he should be playing on his couch with his kids and his wife. He should not be playing baseball in AAA, AA, Major League. He's 37 years old. He batted 203 last year.
My, how they've fallen. Can you believe how far this guy went? And last year at this time, he was demanding $150 million over what, 5 years?
Yeah. And he thought he was going to get it. And the year before was even larger than that.
It's unbelievable how far he's gone down. Listen, this guy cannot play third base. No. He should not be playing third base. You made the point he's 37 years old. What's his range of motion like? His range of motion was terrible in the outfield. How is it going to be at third base when balls are screaming at him?
Especially when you haven't played there for a while. And a bigger problem.
12 games. 12 games since 2012. So in the last 6 seasons, he's played 12 games.
A lot of experience is what you're telling me. A lot of experience at third.
Lately.
And the Braves have a good third baseman. Camargo is hitting .299 last year, and he's 24 years old. Do you want a 24-year-old, or do you want a 37-year-old?
I want the best production I can get out of that position, and it has to be a combination of on-the-field product and at the plate. And Jose Bautista might give them some stuff at the plate. I'm not convinced this guy can handle ground balls or handle the duties that come with being a major league third baseman. If you're going to play this guy and you've signed him and you want him to play, he's got to play first base. He's got to play first base.
No one wants, and Freddie Freeman plays first base.
He's
for the
not
Braves.
taking Freddie Freeman's job, but if you're going to have this guy and you're going to develop him somewhere, first base has got to be a spot.
But you didn't sign him to develop him for your big league team. Like, you didn't sign him saying, hey, we're going to trade you.
All
this
right,
is
then
AA.
He plays third base.
This is AA doing a favor to his boy, Joey Bats, who's terrible, was terrible for his last 2 years in Toronto, and now they're going to squeeze out a young kid for this as a PR stunt. They don't need it. They're playing good baseball.
One day he's going to pick up the ball at third base if he can get to it, and he's going to throw it, and the first baseman's going to catch it with Bautista's arm attached to it. It's going to come off. Documented arm problems from last year. He cannot throw the ball across the diamond like some of these players can.
And that's how the story will end, hopefully, for Joey Bats.
Everybody.
Josh Morrissey was suspended 1 game for a cross-check to Eric Stahl's face, head, neck region. Lance, is that suspension enough from the NHL?
What are we doing here? Are we telling guys like Josh Morrissey, hey, you know what? I know that it was a greasy, dirty play, but we don't mind if you do it again. We're going to give you 1 game. Just, try not to let it happen again. What are we doing here? We suspended Nazem Kadri 3 games for a hit on Tommy Wingles where he didn't make that kind of contact. If you want to make a statement, I've said this 1,000 times, and I get so frustrated with it. If you want to make a statement, that's got to be the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I'm not 100% certain under the CBA what the maximum penalty can be. It has to be the maximum penalty it can be. You cannot have that in the game. He could have broken Eric Stahl's jaw.
Well, and that's what I had when I watched that. You could have broke his jaw, broke his neck, paralyzed him. Like, any of those things could have happened. And to give him 1 game, I thought for sure when I saw that, I'm like, that's 5 or 7 games. Instantly.
The first thing that came to mind is he's got to miss the rest of this series and the second round. He cannot come back until the Jets, if they make the 3rd round, that's when he can come back. This is a joke. This is a joke, and this is why this type of stuff continues to happen in these leagues.
Well, this is what the NHL has done, though. That it's kind of gray area for everything. Okay, well, we'll give 1 here, 1 here. No, you don't just throw out ones. Like, that's something that could end a guy's career. Granted, Stahl's on the downside of his career, but that's it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on the beginning of your career or that's your last game. It does not matter what it is. You can't allow that stuff to carry on in the NHL. That is garbage. That's got to be a maximum penalty, a maximum fine, maximum absolutely everything. And then every other player around the league says, holy crap, I better pay attention to what I'm doing here.
And just to add on that, after he cross-checked him in the head, he went back and slashed his stick and tried to slash him on the hands again, as he was clearly like concussed or out of
laying
it. I don't
on the
know.
ground. He was essentially laying on the ice.
Yeah.
He was on all fours, I think, at that point.
Yeah, so he was a repeat offender in that instance.
You can't, I can't stress it enough, until the NHL firms up on this and absolutely definitively says, we are not going to allow this. There's going to be major penalties for players who do this. It's going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
The Toronto Raptors are tied 2-2, and with their series, I forgot who they're playing, Kinger. I was so fired up about that. Washington Wizards, thank you very much. Tied 2-2 with the Washington Wizards, Kinger. I think a lot of people expected this to go 4 games. The longer this series goes on, or the more this series goes on, does your confidence become higher or lower with this team?
Lower. A lot lower. And it got lower
lower.
It got a lot lower after the first few games. What I'm seeing out of the Raptors right now is what I've seen out of the Raptors in years past, where they can't score. They're relying on DeRozan, who DeRozan's been phenomenal. He's been lights out.
Well, finally, because it's taken a
Yes.
few playoff series to get there,
Yeah.
as in a few years to get there.
But his little sidekick, Kyle Lowry, has not been so
No, he
phenomenal.
has not been
And
good.
we talked about this in the season. The problem with Lowry is he's a smaller guard. He plays 100% all the time, and in playoffs now he's getting bodied a little bit more, and he's not showing up to play the same way he was earlier.
People who show up at Jurassic Park, they should be giving away complimentary puke bags, because people are certainly feeling sick about what is going on with this team in this series. The longer this goes on and the more as this series carries on, I'm sure people are not feeling good about it.
And one of the reasons why people picked them to go 4-0 is Wizards were a mess. They had Beal and Wall fighting, Gortat was fighting, the whole team. Everyone thought, okay, 4 games are done, they're going to have to blow it up.
It was
and
like a
trade.
dumpster fire.
But then all of a sudden, you get a win, and now they're all best friends. They're feeling good. This is bad news for the Raptors. They could easily be on the outside looking in, and if this happens, you're going to have a new GM, you're going to have a new head coach, and you're going to have to move some guys.
We said this before, that it doesn't matter how many times you get to the playoffs. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. If you are not winning championships or you're not getting closer every year, you're going backwards. If they don't get out of this series, you're right. I believe that everybody in the world right now that follows basketball expects this team to be a team that contends for a championship. They have the best shot that they've had of any point in the franchise's history. And if they blow it, yeah, you're going to see major changes.
And they're on the they're on the fence right now, right? It's on the bubble. So those changes could
this
be
series
coming.
is far from over. In a series that after game 2, I think a lot of people are looking at it and thinking, okay, let's carry on. Who are we playing next?
Yeah.
Who are we playing next? And now it's like, let's just survive.
Yeah, survive in advance.
Oh.
The NHL still hasn't disclosed their nominees for their regular season awards. Lance, should the NHL release these nominees at the end of the regular season, not in the playoffs?
I'll tell you right now, we talk constantly, and I don't mean just you and I mean people out in the sports world talk about transparency and being transparent. This is not transparent.
No.
You've got a guy in Taylor Hall that probably should win MVP, or if not, very, very close. He's out after the first round of the playoffs. If he's not nominated, then you know that it's not based off the regular season, even though they say it is.
Well,
You have got to have transparency here. You have to put these nominations out at season's end.
What are you holding back for?
I don't know.
That's my question.
Because it's a game of, let's get everyone excited about who could be a Hart Trophy finalist. Who cares? Put it out.
I think the NHL fans watch the NHL all year. They should know these are the top 3 guys. These are the guys that are going to be nominated, right?
But there's more than 3. There's more than 5, I think you can make the case. But if you want transparency, you've got to have these players out, because it makes fans wonder, hey, was this guy picked because of what he did in the regular season, or was he not picked because his team was ousted in the first round?
And of course he is. That's part of the playoffs. Like, they're looking at these playoffs saying, okay, well,
But it's not.
Stamkos,
The determining factor for that is not, there's nothing to do with playoffs.
But clearly that's the only reason why they're not putting these forward, right? They're saying, Steven Stamkos is going to go far in playoffs.
This is the whole point. You feel that way. How many other people feel that way? And then certainly there's people on the other side that are thinking, no, they're just doing it to gain momentum. They can't gain momentum. It's not even a real thing. And I say
Gain
that.
traction, though. They're going to get more votes, for sure.
And I think that you need to have full transparency with this kind of thing. They just released King Clancy nominees, all 3,800 of them.
There's playoff nominees and awards for playoffs. There's regular season for regular season. Right. I would put it out right away. I'd have the nominations out, and I'd even have the awards out right away, so you know who won the awards, because it's done. The season's over. Everyone's voted on it. put it out right away, make it a marketing piece heading into playoffs, and then use your playoffs as its own marketing piece. That would be my suggestion.
You you have to have transparency with this, and it certainly didn't feel transparent. It doesn't feel transparent, that's for sure. Saturday night, Oakland A's pitcher Sean Mania, pardon me, Kinger, pitched a no-hitter. But there were a couple of controversial plays that made that no-hitter seem like a no-hitter. Kinger, was it a true no-hitter or was it a no-hitter?
I looked at the box score. I looked at the stats. It said it was a no-hitter. So it's a no-hitter.
Okay, so technically it was a no-hitter.
Yes.
Listen, I'll give you the base running issue where he ran off the base path and they called him safe. They overturned it to an out.
Happens quite often.
He's out.
Yeah.
It's quite obvious.
Yeah.
Here's the real one. So, as it pertains to the area, so Semyon couldn't make the play. The shortstop couldn't make the play, catching it over the shoulder. Here's the definition of an error. A fielder is given an error in the judgment of the official score if he fails to convert an out on a play that an average fielder should have made. Average fielder should have made. I don't think an average fielder is making that play. That is
a couple of things you have to take into consideration. He's an average fielder, first off. He is not above average at shortstop. I think
so he didn't make that's a hit then.
Now, to make a point for you, that was a hometown game, right? So it was a home scorer, but that does get reviewed by the MLB. I think the reason why they called that an error is he ran out on that and he kind of stopped, and then he kind of looked around for his buddies and was like, who's going to take this ball? No one called it, and then he kind of off his glove. So I think that's probably why they called that an error. You could argue it either way. Regardless, we've seen no-hitters like this before where that's an error.
Again,
the no-hitter continues.
The big thing here is that he no-hit the Boston Red Sox, who are currently stomping pitchers.
And scoring like 14 runs a game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're murdering pitchers.
Yeah.
So to no-hit the Boston Red Sox and win 3-0 is a real feat, and I think it's got a lot of people thinking, this was, that shouldn't have been a no-hitter. I'm on that side. I think that was a base hit.
And I'm giving him a no-hitter because when we look back in 20 years, you're going to read that and it's going to say no-hitter.
When I look back in 20 years, I'm not even going to remember who Sean Semyon, or I'm not going to remember who Sean Mania is. I'm not even going to care about this no-hitter. It's the Oakland A's. There hasn't been one since 2010. There won't be another one until 2028.
And there was only 20 people watching that game live anyways.
And on TV.
The NFL is talking about removing all kickoffs. Lance, do you think that the CFL and the NFL should remove kickoffs altogether?
Wow, what a slippery slope this is, right?
You bet.
Get rid of it.
Altogether.
Get rid of it. Look, this study came out that players are 5 times more likely to get a concussion during a kickoff. Get it out of the game. We're so concerned right now about long-term cognitive problems, head trauma. Get it out. I don't care. You'll have to figure out how you're going to do little nuances of the game, but get it out of there. If it's for player safety, we have to be diligent about player safety.
I understand the player safety part.
Do you?
I do understand that.
But you're going to say what?
There was 291 concussions in the league last year.
Right.
Okay, my question is football. You score a TD on the kickoff when you're behind. What do you do? What do you do? Onside kick, right? You try to get the ball back right away.
What time of the game we're at here, King?
Well, okay, we're late in the game. You're the Patriots. You're going to get it back on onside kick. God's with you. All that stuff's going on. How does that work now if you take out the kickoff?
Okay,
they just get the ball on the 25-yard line? You can't get it back?
If God's with you, you will get the ball back in some fashion.
In
That's
theory,
the first thing. In theory, you will get the ball back in some fashion. Secondly, you said 291 concussions?
Yes.
Okay. If even 40 of those are removed from kickoffs, so if you get rid of kickoffs and it's 40 less concussions over the course of a season, get it out of there. If it's 1 less concussion over the course of the season, get it out of there. I'm all for player safety because soon there won't be a sport of football. Eventually, kids will stop playing the game. Parents will not allow their children to play the game because of this problem. And you want your 10-year-old kid, and when he turns 30, being totally out of his mind because of these issues?
Honestly, I probably won't let my kid play.
No, I know you won't because you said it before.
Yeah. So 40% of the kickoffs were touchbacks last year, right? The new touchback rule is really encouraging them to take a knee.
So nearly half. So we're going to have half that are run back in some capacity.
I can't understand how NFL is going to overcome how you win a game when you need to get the ball back when the team gets it, because now you're always going to have to make stops. This isn't the CFL where it's run, pass, kick. Right, this is the NFL. There's 4 downs here, so you're going to have to stop 3 plays and stop the clock. You're going to have to add timeouts. I don't know what you're going to do.
Listen, if you want to get the ball back, get it back. If it's late in the game and there's still enough time for the other team to make plays offensively, then get an interception, get a fumble. That's how you get the ball back. If you're not good enough to do that, then you deserve to lose anyways. Okay, Kinger, we're going to break here.
Disagree.
We agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Albert's coming up on the other side. He's He thinks the kickoff should be gotten rid of too, just for the record.
He's full of it, is what he is.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
Albert joins us. Kinger, you said you wanted to get something out about that kickoff topic.
I just
real quick. Let's talk.
There's
about it real
kicker specialists. There's guys that just kick. So
Yeah, so
what happens to that position?
They kick field goals
Yeah, but there's two different kickers for some teams.
and they punt.
No, well, some guys are punters, some guys are field goal only, some guys are kickoff.
Well, then they're gonna have to sort out which guys are which. But you still need a guy for each position, or you get one guy like the CFL to do both jobs. That's again just something else that makes the CFL such a superior league.
CFL.
Hey, listen, let's start this off the right way, Kinger, with Corporal Matthews.
Here we go.
Right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Mother, first he was disrespected by the Ducks, then by the All-Star game. Finally, he was disrespected in Vezina nominations, but in Game 6, the Scandinavian Ginger Save God showed all the experts how wrong they are about him. The best in the world forces Game 7. We live. AM.
Male in the beak.
I'm a big fan of Corporal Matthews.
I listen to, like I said, I listen to it all day.
Just go to the account. I mean, what is it? It's at CPL Matthews. Just go to the account and sign on to follow the guy. It's amazing. Dude out of PEI. It's great stuff.
Do you think he's got a Leafs tattoo on him?
I don't know. I'm going to ask him. He's a hell of a guy. I'm going to ask him. He's a really good dude.
Barstool Sports at Barstool Sports. Old school baseball guys are not going to be happy after watching this.
This is unfathomable.
This is pimping a home run right here.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
Not quite this
He's
bad.
halfway down the baseline. He's carrying the bat still.
As I was saying, the bad thing about this is...
If I'm a fielder, I'm getting a ball. When the ball comes back to the pitcher, I'm throwing it at him, right? Like, I'm just throwing it at. Look at the pitcher gawking.
I hope this is a walk-off because his teammate is getting ear-holed, or when they play them tomorrow, he's getting ear-holed.
I mean, it's a long vid here, but...
Who's he celebrating? There's no one watching this game.
Well, somebody's looking down from above.
Is this on national television or what?
I feel like people just do this move from above, like the kiss above, just to do it.
Yeah.
Because here he is again.
Oh, he's still going.
Oh no, he's still going. Look, there he is again, the point above. Okay, so
Would we say this is a highlight of his life? Like,
I would say so. What are you doing here? What are you doing?
The next game, he's getting beamed.
Well,
and
what would you do that game?
I probably would have fought him. I probably would have bench ball. If a guy sellies like that, whoever's on,
over.
I would expect my first. If I was the pitcher, I would expect my first baseman to tackle him. That's straight up. If a guy's selling like that,
he's got to be hit the next game.
yeah.
Hard.
Code.
And I probably, if I'm the opposing manager, because you wouldn't send it to another team, be that same team.
Yeah.
You're hitting him every time he comes up to the plate.
Well, I don't think that game gets past 3 innings. That
No
game's
way.
gonna be bench
No,
brawled by.
you'd throw it. I'd throw at him every single time he comes up to bat.
Yeah,
I
congrats.
wouldn't throw behind him because that's not doing anything. I'd hit him where it hurts, like maybe in the side of the knee or something like that. Okay. Haley Wickenheiser. Honestly, the world works in mysterious ways, Kinger. The world
does.
works in mysterious ways. Haley Wickenheiser at Wick_22. Spotted in Saskatoon yesterday. The Sticks have finally reached their destination. Some photo cred there. That is unbelievable.
I saw that tweet and I just couldn't. Yeah, it's so awesome.
I saw it and I could not believe what I saw.
I've never seen a cloud like that before, ever.
Who has?
Hey, there's mail.
There's a reason for everything, right?
Is there?
I think so. I hope so. That's why I'm here.
Were 16 lives taken on that day?
Starting 9 at starting 9. Swag walking after a strikeout like.
That's a pitch right there, buddy.
It's a little bit of a glitch.
Hey, there's mail.
All right, this is your favorite buddy. So, Florida Fire Frogs, Florida Fire Frogs at Fire Frogs BB. Here's tonight's game notes and starting lineup against the, I don't even know what team that is, the Flying Tigers, for Superhero Night at Osceola Stadium. Batting first, playing third base, number 23 in your roster, number 52 in your hearts, Jose Bautista.
Yeah, fun story about Florida Fire Frogs. I went to 3 of their games last year when I was down there for a conference.
Where's it located?
It's just outside of Orlando. There's like
Okay.
7, it's like near Lakeland.
Yeah.
$2 daiquiris.
$2 DAX.
$2 DAX. I
DAX
had
on
about,
DAX on
had about
DAX.
4 by the end of the second inning, and I sat on top of the dugout because there was 25 people there. So Yeah, got to visit with the ushers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
How
got
did you,
mail.
how did you feel after the game?
I felt all right. Uber took me home and got me to the hotel.
Oh, it's
So,
you. Sorry.
Same as always.
Oh, come on, Kinger.
The Chief, Barstool Chief. Maybe a little less Adderall, man.
Like, check out the eyeballs. Check out the eyeballs. Is that focus or is that terror?
That's how I feel with these lights on today.
You've got
All right, what
mail.
do we got here? Peter Yiannopoulos, at Pete Yiannopoulos. Reason why LeBron teammates don't always step up is that he micromanages every possession on offense where he has to control the offense from the top of the key. Guys, especially guards, are just specialists in his world. No one improves, hence Kyrie bolted him.
Yeah, he's right. No one likes to play with
No,
LeBron.
and we're seeing it this year. We're seeing what the effects of LeBron on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I actually have a theory about LeBron.
Give it to me.
But let's get to this next one because I'll tell you the theory after this. 'Cause I feel like this one's a good one.
We're keeping it. The Hockey Hangout at Hockey Hangout. Did you and Dad meet?
How did you and Dad meet?
How did you and Dad meet? Missed a little.
Oh, that's how.
That's a lot of squish in there.
Look how those. That's a kiss right there, baby.
Does Getzlav not have a visor on? That's how that happens.
That's a kiss right there,
Oh
buddy.
my goodness.
Okay, my theory on LeBron is that there's been talk about him going to the Lakers. LeBron going to the Lakers. I think LeBron obviously likes the spotlight. Hence the reason he moved from Miami to Cleveland, because now the spotlight's on him. It was like when he made the move to Miami.
Right.
The decision, the
Right.
spotlight was on him all the time. Now the spotlight is starting to wear off a little bit in
Starting to
Cleveland.
fade.
It is fading. He needs it back on him. So he will not be with Cleveland next year.
One thing quick on that is he plays his game and is not engaged with his teammates at all. He
No.
just goes out and does his thing right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
And again, we're going to get to bold predictions. Yeah, I got a thing on that.
tasty.
Okay, Deadspin at Deadspin. High school baseball coach swears he was powerless to prevent his team from winning 82-0. That's an 8 and a 2, and the other team scored 0.
That guy's a liar.
He's
That's
saying that.
That's a load.
I mean, read the article. Essentially, he's
Hey,
in the
there's
article and he's saying that
mail.
he couldn't stop his team from scoring all these runs.
Swing through the pitches. Just
Oh.
swing through them. Just take the strikeout.
What a tool.
What is
a
that?
tool.
What is that helping either team? The team that wins or loses, like, and
It's
you're
not helping
teaching
anybody.
Bad
It's not
life
helping
lessons.
anybody. All right,
That's
what do we got?
terrible. NHL prospects watcher at prospects_watcher. Cam Neely is
He
intense.
is. Look at him. He looks like the guy from The Shining.
He reminds me of my dad a bit there.
What a maniac. All right, we're running out of time here. Let's see what we got. Well, okay,
You've
we got a
got
minute left.
mail.
Alex60. Oh, you're going to love this one. At AlexFan590. Russell Martin on John Gibbons. He's like a second dad. You don't want to disappoint him.
Yet
Gibby, listen, everybody loves Gibby. Everybody loves Gibby.
You've got mail.
Yet he doesn't care about anything. Congrats,
No,
Gibby.
I,
He's
you
still
know,
got a job.
I think he does well out there. I don't have a problem with Gibby. He works hard out there.
and hey, the Jays are playing well right now, so we'll give him that. Okay, last one here. I'm getting it in.
Right.
NBA babe at NBA_babe. Get your ass back on defense.
Like pushes him. Get out of here, man.
Protect the rim.
Okay, we gotta. This is a good one. We gotta do this one. This is Ryan Stretznitsky's father. Happy birthday, son. 19 years ago was chapter 1. Today is chapter 2. He's holding his son Ryan, who was paralyzed in the Humboldt Broncos bus crash. Unbelievable.
Still tough.
It's tough to see that kind of stuff all the time, and now finally some of these players have been, upgraded to serious condition from critical, which is really good. But a lot of people still thinking about that team and what's going on there.
If you can't score, you might as well drop the gloves.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Now listen, we didn't mention off the top of the show, and I feel like we failed our faithful viewers here. Josh Ryan is back.
Or we gave him a good surprise.
Yeah, we did. Josh Ryan is back to break down another video. Now listen, this is a video that has been seen on this show a couple of times, but it's never been broken down with the detail that I know Josh is going to break it down. Josh, it's good to have you back. How are you, sir?
It's always good to be back, especially with such a warm introduction from a gentleman like yourself. And yes, this is repeated material, so we're beating a dead horse, but it's a great dead horse.
It is a great dead horse, and it's a horse that I think you know, I don't mind seeing beaten multiple times over and over again.
Some things are worth beating, I guess.
And this horse-
something certainly takes a beating in this video.
Yeah. Okay, so Josh, listen, we'll just let you go straight into it. I mean,
Okay.
anyone who's familiar with the show should know exactly what's going on that screen right there. It's pretty familiar looking.
Yes, well, let's go ahead with this video courtesy of failblog.org. So go ahead, roll the video. We'll watch it run through. I'm guessing everyone already has recognized, what's about to happen here. Now, the video speaks for itself, but as we like to do on the show, let's analyze it a little bit more. We've got a slowed down version that I'm very excited to show. So we're going to start with a few of the main errors this guy makes. We're going to stop, just leave it paused right here. So the first error he makes is in his attire. I mean, it looks like a very sunny, warm summer day, and he's wearing a hoodie and pants. So you're going to be sweaty, you're going to be way too hot, and you're not going to be focused on what you need to be focused on, which is the board. You're focused on everything else.
So he should be focused on just landing on the ground safely.
He should be just focused on his task. And you add in sweat and things like that, and I mean, it was probably warm down there as well, so that couldn't have helped the impact that happened later, right? So let's move on.
Down where, Josh? Down where? Just can you elaborate on that?
Down where do you think? Let's play the video right now. And pause it there again. Other thing to mention here is that he doesn't have a cup on, and we've talked repeatedly on this show that a cup is very important anytime you're dealing with something athletic or dangerous. Obviously, you're not dealing with projectiles thrown at you, but you should look at the history of all internet videos. You see how many people have been hit in the nuts while trying to do skateboarding level things. Far more often than actual sports.
This looks as bad as a projectile, Josh.
I mean, in a way, it's worse because he's coming in at full force as well.
Now, Josh, just a second here.
Yes,
now,
go ahead.
You think you need a cup skateboard? I mean, nobody's really expecting that they're going to hit a telephone pole support wire.
As I said, though, anyone who's watched YouTube videos knows by now it's always a risk. There's so many of them.
You should take one with
So, are you wearing one right now? Because there's a risk that something could happen in this studio.
One never tells secrets. Let's continue with this video here. So going in slow motion.
Oh, that is.
You can now pause it again. You can see here he does keep his headphones on, which is very important because those probably cost $400. But he didn't tie his shoelaces, as you can see this shoe falling off. And a couple of other things scattered, including his hat, his wallet. Don't keep your phone, your wallet, things like that in your pockets when you're about to perform dangerous stunts. Like this.
Now, Josh, from your vast experience skateboarding, again,
it's very vast. Yes,
I say vast because I feel like it's higher than any of the other people standing. in the
Yes,
studio.
I spent many a time attempting to stand on a skateboard in my mom's basement. But
You did skateboard?
Oh, in my mom's basement for a good 15 minutes.
Okay, so that's vast
okay.
experience compared
Yes.
to you or I feel. So,
Yeah, I was ramping stuff.
okay, so Josh, from that experience level, is it possible that the shoelace got into the wheel, or is this just a case of some guy who wasn't with the program and wore the wrong clothes?
His kind of loafers here, they're actually short. They are short laces, so that wasn't an issue. There's plenty of other issues with this guy and in this video, but long shoelaces was not one of them.
Okay.
So now can we show this video again? We're gonna rewind to the beginning here, and I want to now do a couple more errors. So location is the next problem. As you can see, there's this big honking wire thing here that he jumps and goes straight into. Maybe perhaps he could have chosen a location where there's not something you can land specifically on your...
And there's a car there
There's
too.
a van. I think
And
that's
There's a van or something
A van
there.
does present other issues too, such as concussions, a lack of a healthy-looking nose,
Game over.
loss of teeth,
Well, the
etc.
van wasn't moving. I think it was
and
stationary.
another issue here too as well is if there's nothing to stop his momentum, what happens if he ends up on the street and somebody's driving by? Then you have an even worse injury.
Then we have human stew all over the street.
This looks
Right.
like this kid really thought
And now
it out.
go ahead and play the video just to get a little bit more of the landscape here, and pause it right as he lands. So pause it there. Very good timing as well.
That's actually perfect.
You can see here it's a downslope. So you knew as soon as he took off, he wasn't going to have a steady landing because you're automatically propelled forward on a downslope versus a steady plateau of land. Big mistake.
And he's picking up speed once he lands.
Exactly. You're picking up speed and then going straight downhill, and now you're also edited out into a street and a long
Now, Josh, do you know
cable
what the
wire.
purpose of this trick would be? Because it seems to me that there's no real, it's just to land this massive jump off the side of a concrete wall.
Yeah, you pretty much got it. That's it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's all. he's trying to do.
That's all that the
Okay.
goal was.
So my other
risk versus reward doesn't really match up
Right.
here.
other concern around Josh on this is clearly his buddy's filming this. So he tried this trick several times.
You think,
How
or
many-
this might have been the only time
No.
it was attempted?
I don't. Well,
You
I
attempting-
I hope it was, but like clearly he had set him up and told him like, "Hey, go here." I'm just wondering like what those
I
wipeouts
think you're
would have looked
giving
like.
young males too much credit. It's more likely that this was the first one to try this out,
Right.
and they wanted to have a video in case it was awesome.
He was the guinea pig. Go,
Or
go
maybe
do
his
this.
buddy was very intuitive and thought, if this goes badly, we got hits.
Now,
Which clearly that worked
From
out.
what I understand, there were pedestrians hanging around
Yes.
this area when this occurred.
Yes, and they did show some concern for him after he lost the ability to bear children.
Did they?
It's some. I mean, they walked towards him slowly, so obviously they felt the impact of what had just happened.
I'm not even as concerned
Metaphorically.
about
Do
that.
we have those? Like, can we see those pedestrians? It's in the next video. I
Yeah,
believe.
so let's play to the next video, which has a couple of other,
Yeah, please do.
excellent,
Yeah.
excellent.
And there's some good sound bites in this too.
Yes, so
if
let's
I'm not
actually
mistaken.
play this out, and I want you to count as soon as he crashes. Count how long the sound goes for. So it goes. Now start counting.
6, 7, 8.
9 seconds it takes for his skateboard to come to a stop.
Is that
That's
the
how much
rattling
the
sound we're
downhill
hearing?
was.
Is that the rattling sound?
That
we're
is the
hearing?
rattling of the skateboard. So that, again, showing the downslope. Now, not only does he have to walk off getting hit in the nuts, he has to walk downhill to get his skateboard and walk all the way back up, just adding to the
Oh, he
humiliation.
lost-
Oh,
he
look
bl-
at this poor guy.
Okay, I got a couple more concerns, Josh.
Yeah,
I got to ask. One, he blew a shoe right off.
Yeah, it was a yard sale of shoes.
Yes.
And second, what's the whiplash factor on that? Because that looked almost as bad as where the pole hit.
Well, I think if you asked him, any other added damage is really irrelevant at that point. You're really just focusing on what's between the legs.
How far does a skateboard go in 9 seconds when it's traveling at that speed? Do you think?
Well, and again, add the downhill. It probably, if I had to guess, it probably went a full block down. Would be my guess.
Looks
is
like
how
it's in
far it
That's like a
San
missile.
Francisco, straight down.
That's like
But
a
I mean,
missile.
and you see, if you want to play the video again, you see how fast it, actually, if we don't mind getting another look at it, you see how fast this thing shoots out from under his feet here. Like he
can't even
almost,
see
he
it.
almost
She gone.
extends, he almost
She gone.
extends the speed by kicking it with the 1 foot.
Now, Josh, what happens if you're a pedestrian like half a block down and this missile comes launching down the hill?
Well, if you're
I
of
can't
low
get over
moral
this guy with a white
character,
sock.
you might, if you're of low moral character, you might actually just pick it up and run.
You can't pick
yeah,
that thing
no, you keep it for sure. You keep it.
But
that
if it
rolls
just
up to you.
shoots by you, I'm guessing that people in a city like this probably go, we've seen random things all the time. So it
Can you
doesn't
imagine
actually
the
surprise me
accident
that
that
much.
could have caused?
Oh, unbelievable! Once again,
Depends
the buddy.
on how skiddy a driver you are, though. I mean, let's be honest. Animals fly through all the time, and people don't just off the road. It's just a skateboard.
You don't drive with Lance, obviously, because he does that. But
Oh, that's true.
once again, the shot in the growing area, it blows my mind that his buddies weren't coming in there. They slowly walked in
Hey,
and like,
listen.
oh.
If
You know
that's
what though?
you-
He's clearly the offspring of Carl. You know, the blonde-haired second fiddle bad guy in Die Hard. So perhaps he's sort of got a sort of bullying leadership element within the group. So they don't feel that concerned for him
Okay,
because
truthfully.
he's a villainous or a villainous stock. let's
Josh,
say.
truthfully, if you're filming that and that happens to your buddy,
Yeah.
you are not stopping filming. The filming carries on. The filming continues.
It's all
you're
about
not
the-
stopping. There's
it's all
no way.
about the
You're
hits.
not coming to his defense. You're filming that one out. You want to see
Yes,
the
if
results.
you're a bad friend or if you're a great friend, you keep filming. It doesn't matter what.
Josh, once again, fantastic work again today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate getting to revisit this great piece of
I feel like that'll
American
be the
cinema.
last time we see that video. But again, great work. It's great to have you on the show again.
It's great to be
I
back,
look,
boys.
I look forward to seeing what you bring next time.
A couple of weeks, he'll be back.
It'll be fun.
Josh Ryan, everybody.
Classic.
Bold predictions coming up. That's an awful feeling.
I can't believe the whiplash.
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
Hi-yo, sports fans. We're going to do some bold predictions. We did bold predictions revisited, but listen, real quick. We got to get to this tweet. Okay, so this came from Frank Pilata. We didn't get to this during the Twitter segment, but we had to mention it because it's funny. So this comes from Frank Pilata, who this is a photo that was taken during an NBA game. This is like a painting from the Renaissance. So James Harden kind of half falling into the crowd, perfectly shot. Adam Warlock at How's It O, HOWSITO, says, I took that Harden photo and turned it into art.
It's an amazing
It's
picture.
amazing, right? Like
The
how
colors
funny is
pop
that?
out.
I don't know how he did it. I'd love to get a hold of him and be like, tell me how you made that.
He's good with his computer, I think.
I would say he's pretty good. Okay, bold predictions. We got some good ones. Kinger? How about it?
I'll start with a real bold prediction today. The Boston Red Sox will not win the AL East.
Wow.
How bold is that? They got 5 losses right now.
What's the reasoning behind this?
I think that the Yankees are going to come on strong, and I think at some point Boston's bats will cool off. I don't know how that far they're going to fall, but I think. Plus, Boston Red Sox
just get
fans
Manny to pitch every single game for Oakland.
yeah, and the Red Sox
Trade him every game to a different
yeah,
team.
He's got to throw against Boston constantly. Red Sox fans just get on my nerves.
Okay, so you're picking this because of Red Sox fans, not because the team
yeah,
is going to falter.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay.
still a bold prediction.
Yeah, no, that is bold. Now listen, I have had a tough time with bold predictions. I predicted not long ago that the Red Dogs, excuse me, totally had to sneeze, could not hold that back. The Red Dogs would not allow more than 15 points in a game, as we know that got blown up.
First game.
No, not first game, it was like the third game. Take it easy. The Red Dogs are 4 games through the season, they have 2 left. So how this works with the Capital District Football League is that it goes for point differential, so points for and against. The team with the better points for and against, doesn't matter how games you win or lose, wins the championship.
So you got to run it up.
You got to run it up. The Red Dogs run it up, and not because they run it up, because they're way better than everybody else.
Yep.
They got 2 games left. If they win this next game, even if they lose the last game of the season, they're still going to be champions. So they're going to go into the last game of the season possibly as champs already, which happened last year. The Red Dogs are going to win a 3rd straight CDMA championship. That's my bold prediction. It's not terribly bold, but I'm sticking to a not terribly bold prediction because I am getting absolutely hammered on bold predictions.
So you're trying to get the lollipops here. You're
Just
trying to get some
get my
Ws.
game going here a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep staying with the bold. The Toronto Maple Leafs, after they beat Boston in Game 7, are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You are going bold.
think
I actually
that's real
picked Boston to beat this team in 6, so they obviously didn't do it in 6. But this is a tough match. This is a tough matchup in the first round.
If they get by the Bruins, I think they have a shot because I think
everybody has a shot.
No,
Kinger.
okay.
Everybody who makes the playoffs has a shot.
We're not going back to this old thing, but momentum's going to be on their side. They're young. They're going to be.
Momentum's not a real thing. It's not a thing.
It's a thing.
No, it's
The
not.
hot hand is a thing.
All right, I'm going to stick with the NHL playoffs. The Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights eliminate the Sharks in 6 games.
I could see that. They're playing good hockey. They've been good all year. Sharks are good. It's a good series.
Yeah, that's my bold prediction. I know they're not terribly bold.
You're keeping it very vanilla today,
I am
if you
vanilla
will.
today, baby.
I'm going to stay bold, hot sauce bold here. Des Bryant
Oh boy.
will sign with
Hang on.
New England Patriots.
No way.
Yeah. Belichick's
Are
going
you
to take him.
kidding?
He's going to make something out of him. He's going to be a TD monster. Yeah, he's going to be 1-year deal with the Patriots.
How much better does that make the New England Patriots?
Scary good. Well, I think if Gronk's out, I
If
think
he's
they might
not a
make a move like
complete
that.
loser like he
Well,
has been in the past.
He is. That's what happens when you go to Dallas. That just kind of happens.
that is hot sauce bold,
Yeah.
like you said.
Yeah,
Wow.
if it happens,
That's
I'm
a
retiring
hot,
off the show.
Spicy meatball. Okay. Colin Kaepernick's in discussions to possibly play for the Seattle Seahawks. Before the season starts, Colin Kaepernick will be a Seahawk.
That is another vanilla. I think that could happen. Carroll's been talking
Of
about
course
him.
it could happen. He could sign with anybody. That could happen too.
Right, anything can happen.
He's going to be a Seahawk.
Okay. I would love to see him go somewhere where he'd be a starter, personally.
He can't be a starter, but it would be fascinating because he played in a Super Bowl against Russell
Wilson.
Against Russell Wilson. I had Russell Martin in my mind. Imagine those two playing together.
That would be awesome.
I like it.
I'm going to head back to the NHL for this one. The Caps and the Penguins play each other. The Caps are going to take down the Penguins 4-1. Penguins barely standing a chance.
I'd say that's mild sauce. I'd say that's mild sauce. Maybe medium. I could give you some medium.
I was going to go
there.
4-0, but I didn't.
I'm going to go medium because I don't think they beat the Penguins. I actually thought the Penguins would lose to the Flyers in the first round, but I can't. After seeing what Sidney Crosby's done and how that team is moving along, yeah, I think they're in good shape. Real quick, let me bang out one more here for you, Kinger. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they'll get by the Pacers, barely. They're going to barely get by the Pacers. They're not going to get past the Toronto Raptors or the Washington Wizards in the second round. They're done after round 2.
That's bold. That's bold. If they win this round, I think they coast into the East Finals. I think.
They coast?
Matchup problems.
You like it?
Yeah.
What if it's the Philadelphia 76ers?
Then it's trouble. Then it's trouble.
Oh, yet to be seen, buddy.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
Sports movie madness.
It's happening.
It's madness. We are through the first round.
Done.
This is exciting. We're moving on to the heavy hitters have moved on.
Yep. Round of 16, if you will.
I got some bad news. We got some bad news for producer Blake today.
Yeah, real.
He's panting in our ear again.
Yeah, panting like Air Bud.
Blake, how many times did you vote? He's not at liberty to say.
I'm going to say
my guess is he forgot and didn't vote once.
all 10 Air Bud votes was his.
Okay, so let's go through the Paramount division that happened last week. So the last of the first round, the Paramount division, we had Any Given Sunday, number 1 versus number 8, Air Bud. We speculated this wouldn't be close. This was not close.
No.
Air Bud took 13% of the vote, Blake.
So essentially, Air Bud should have not been on the ballot, is what we got out
Well,
of that.
that's a possibility. So Any Given Sunday, this is not surprising. Like having Any Given Sunday is a hell of a sports movie.
Yeah, and it's going to go a ways. On that same side of the bracket, we had Happy Gilmore on 42. Now, this is one of the ones that we predicted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there could be an upset. Well, there was an
Was.
upset.
And I feel like 42 is the better movie, in my opinion. 42 is the better
Start to
movie.
finish.
Obviously, it's in my opinion. I just said it. 42 is the better movie, but I feel like Happy Gilmore resonates with more people.
Right.
So
It's a feel-good movie.
Happy Gilmore is a feel-good movie?
Yeah, it makes you feel good after. You laugh, you have fun.
Isn't 42 a feel-good movie? It
Yeah.
does make you feel good at the end?
No, it does, but I think more, like you said, more people.
That's
like
comedy,
laugh.
right?
Yeah.
People like the comedy stuff. It's better for kids, I think. You know?
81 to 19%.
Yeah,
there.
not close.
Yeah, that
was
side
a-
of the bracket was a wash-off.
It was. We should have just moved them on as
Yep.
it was. All right. Let's move to number 2 versus number 7. We've got We Are Marshall at number 2 versus A League of Their Own. This one was a little closer.
Yeah.
We weren't sure who might win this.
Yeah.
A League of Their Own did not win this. We Are Marshall took 55% of the vote. It is through to the next round.
I think rightfully so. I'm happy with
Yeah, that's a heck of a movie. And it's based on a true story. Mind you, so is A League of Their Own, like
Yeah.
you mentioned.
Now, the other matchup in that bracket, Raging Bull and Dodgeball, 3-6 matchup, was a pretty good matchup in our mind. Raging Bull, one of the all-time classic
Yeah.
movies. Unfortunately, I don't think that many people have seen Raging Bull.
Again, just a scenario where I feel like not many people know Raging Bull. They don't know what it's about. A lot of younger, maybe the millennials, are not familiar with Raging Bull. If you said
Millennials.
Raging Bull, they're thinking of like maybe the bull running in Spain. They're not thinking of like
The bar.
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, not
the bar. All right, so that means that we've got Any Given Sunday up against Happy Gilmore in the second round of the Paramount division, and We Are Marshall versus Dodgeball. Listen, that Happy Gilmore Any Given Sunday is,
That's going to be like 51-49.
oh my word.
It's going to be high.
All right, so let's take a look at what we got coming on this week, Kinger.
Yep.
So this week we're moving into the second round. We're doing both the Sony and the Columbia division together. So what do we got starting off in the Sony?
All right, we got Rudy versus Slapshot.
This is, how do you, I mean, I pick winner as Rudy if it's me voting and there's only one vote. But this, I'm not sure how you pick a winner here.
and mine would be the opposite. This is, again, going to be in the 40s, like 40 to 50, I think. This is going to be an absolute
tight,
barn burner.
tight,
So
tight,
great
tight,
start
tight.
to the second round. Great
Holy
start.
cow, Rudy and Slapshot.
Yeah.
The sad part is that one of these movies is not going to go on.
Yeah. It goes
right.
down. That's the way it goes.
And then we've got, this one I feel like is a bit more of a, it's probably a bit more stable. Major League versus Coach Carter. I love Coach Carter. I love the way it comes together. But Major League is a major classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Major League's going to run them
In
run them aground here.
in terms of a second round matchup, that could be a cakewalk for Major League.
All right, moving down to the Columbia division. We've got the Waterboy versus the Mighty Ducks. This isn't even close. This isn't even close, but it will be close.
You like the Ducks?
No way. The Ducks should not have gotten past Jerry Maguire.
You
The
hate
fact that
that
the Ducks
movie.
got past Jerry Maguire is a travesty.
Yeah, Mighty
the
Ducks.
Waterboy.
The Mighty Ducks resounds with people. Like it resonates. Sorry.
Well, it's not going to
I think the Waterboy will move on, unfortunately.
Okay, what else you got, Kinger?
I got Rocky versus Space Jam.
Again, this should not be
This
close.
should be a 90.
How on earth did Space Jam get past Hoosiers in the first round? We're still trying to figure this out.
I don't know. I wish we could go back. You know what we got to do is we got to hit our Twitter analytics and see where the votes from Space Jam are coming from.
Oh my word.
But the fans are voting. Hey, this is what it's about. It's their vote, not ours.
And the vote is open. The polls are open now. Have your vote. Now listen, how you can get there is go to the Gloves, at Gloves TV, the Twitter account at Gloves TV. Get your votes in. They're there. They'll also be pasted on the Gloves Facebook site. Of course, that's the Gloves new cap.
Yep.
So you can find it there too. There'll be a link to the place where you can vote. Get your votes in. We've had steadily around the 50 vote mark. We need to get more though. So retweet it, get it out there. Let's see how many votes we can get on these, because the more, the better. I feel like the more we get, the closer these are going to get. Except for Rocky and Space Jam.
That
That will
one
not
get
be close.
Further away, I believe. And we also retweet those on our personal accounts as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
So you can find them there too.
yeah.
And it's, we're making our way down. There's some good in the second round here. There's some really good ones.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what pans out of this, because ultimately what you want this to come down to is a big old argument at the end,
Yeah.
right? You want two powerhouses and you want it to be tough.
We've had some comments that we should have had more, because there's a lot more sports movies that could have been in this, and we should have had more. But I mean, you have a bracket of 64. We're going till 2019.
Hey, someone's always on the bubble. Someone always gets knocked out.
We've also got some new ideas for segments that are be coming your way soon. We're going to do some cliche stuff that's coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun. We hopefully are going to have some prizes to give away for those cliches too. Some contests that are going to come up in future segments.
I like
so you
it.
want to stay tuned for that. Listen, real quick, we got about 30 seconds left. Where are the Border City Blue Jays at so far this season?
Border City Blue Jays are getting ready for their first practice outside, because
Nice.
the season doesn't start till after May long, of course, because it's a farmers league. So we got to get the crops in first before we play.
Can't wait to see the AA provincial champions defending carry on.
Might not lose a game this year.
Might not.
Actually, could lose a lot.
Thanks for watching. See you in 7.